call to order the meeting of the Buckeye Board of Education. This is Tuesday, July 11th. It is 7:02 p.m. Roll call, please.
Farco.
Here.
Saselich.
Here.
Kunkelman.
Here.
Manson.
Here.
Stahl.
Here.
Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Approval of minutes. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the minutes for the special and regular meetings of June 13th, 2017 and the special meetings of June 29th, 2017.
I'd like to make a motion and accept the minutes.
I'll second. Comments? Roll call?
Farco.
Yes.
Saselich.
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
Manson.
Abstain.
Kunkelman.
Yes. Recommendation statement. Following are recommendations that have been identified for approval as part of the consent agenda for this meeting. If a board member wishes to remove any item from this agenda for further discussion prior to taking action, please let either the superintendent or board president know. Approval of consent agenda. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the consent agenda of July 11, 2017 as presented. A motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
I'll second.
We're removing A, 11, C, D, E, and F, and renumbering.
Anything else?
We did also change, add a junior to the 11B for the junior high.
Correct. And under treasurer's report, there was a typo under B. We've corrected it on the agenda.
All right. Roll call.
Stahl.
Yes.
Farco.
Yes.
Manson.
Yes.
Saselich.
Yes.
Kunkelman.
Yes. Public participation. The public is invited to speak to any of the agenda items and other school topics at this time. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Direct questions will not be answered by the Board of Education members at this time. However, answers will be given at a later date as appropriate. Anyone wishing to speak tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
I'm asking the board to approve the internal budgets, amended certificates of the appropriations that are sent to the county auditor's office, that are on file in the treasurer's office. I have some transfers from general fund to for food service, $15,543.92. From general fund to athletic fund, $105,401.50. From the general fund to uniform school supplies, $2,128.61. Then I have advances that I'm requesting to be sent from the general fund to Title 6B. And the second one is for $2,063.70. The second one should be Title 1 for $2,004.49. And then C, which is the final appropriations and final amended certificate for fiscal year 16-17, as in the board members, Appendix A. And then D, which is the temporary appropriations and amended certificate for the 17-18 school year that is presented to the board as Appendix B.
A motion, please.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Comments?
We're closed, we're open for fiscal year 17-18. Again, the transfers for food service, we had a long-term sick leave personnel for the whole year, which caused this to be higher than what it was last year. If that person would not have, we wouldn't have had to have a sub, it would have pretty close to broken even. Athletics is less than last year. And uniform school supplies is less than last year. What that is if you are on free lunch, you do not pay your school fees. And the advances are for our federal funds. We have to spend the money, and the law is such that you have to spend it within 5 days of receipt. I tried really hard. And if they would have just given me the money, I would have been good, but they didn't, so we had to advance. This is like a loan. This will be paid back in the future. When the money comes back, you will see this reversed. Any questions?
What was it was almost a push on the food service. Do you recall the last couple of years how high it had gotten? Is it up to 36,000?
It was up to 60,000.
It's amazing for dropping 60,000 now. Good job with that.
And the food prices have stayed the same. The lunch prices.
This is your last one? Last one.
Yes, sir.
All right, then.
So we
Oh,
all
sorry.
voted down then?
We'll just wait on our
Roll call.
Manson,
Yes.
Suselich,
Yes.
Barco,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Gunkelman.
Yes. Superintendent's informational items, please.
First item is the Buckeye Local Schools 2017-18 calendar is updated on the website. We have both the days schools in attendance as well as the days on the back for conferences, our late arrival dates, those types of information. That's available on our webpage. On the home page at the bottom left-hand corner has the icon for the calendar, so that's accessible there. I also sent out an email blast today to all of our families with that same information. Item number 2, Buckeye Youth Football is going to be erecting an equipment building at the youth football fields, and that's going to be taking place here next couple weeks, and then they will be donating that back to us probably at our August board meeting. Item number 3, we have some fencing projects that we're looking at. The area underneath the football stands, you might remember we talked about that last year, where the stone area is. That's going to have a chain link fence. Actually, it's a vinyl covered or coated fence that will be underneath there. We are also replacing the entry gate by the ticket booth on the home side, as well as adding a gate for the EMS to access the football field, which is down by the fire pit, which will keep them, give them easier, safer access leaving the stadium and entering the stadium if they do have a run or come late, where they won't be dodging all the the crowd as well as the football players as they're coming in and out. And then there's also, if you've noticed along that drive coming in, that fence has been beaten up pretty good over the years, and it's actually concave where they've been probably your soft tossing or something running into that, and it's actually the bottom has been sticking out. There's room at the bottom for animals to get through or other types of creatures to get through. And then we have just some rods that are not safe. They're trying to hold that out. So the whole area, just for safety, needs to be addressed. So that's going to have new fabric, the vinyl fabric on that as well. And so you'll probably see some of that. It's going to be taken care of for about a week. That area is going to be open. we talked to the gentleman today, it's probably going to happen about 4 or 5 weeks out. So beginning part of August, we should see some action out there. And then we also have the soccer track complex. There's a number of posts and fencing that needs to be addressed out there, just to, some of the posts have heaved up and the gates aren't aligned, and just making some adjustments there. So that'll be some things that are minor changes that you might notice. Our item number D, LED lighting upgrade. I think we had 5 lights out in the elementary cafeteria, and when we started to go up and look at that, there was some concern about some light bulbs were cracking because those bulbs get so hot. I forget the wattage that's up there. I want to say 260 or something like that. We looked at some of the other options, and we started to look at replacing that with the LED lights. And we decided, for the cost and we have to rent the lift, and we go in there every year, use the lift to change light bulbs, that we were able to replace all the lights for $2,000, wasn't it? For almost $3,000 to be able to change all the lights out. And when Mike Kovacic was up and pulling those off, there's a number of those lights that were probably a bigger concern than what we thought. There was some leaking going on. Of course, that's the cafeteria area. And so I think we caught some things. Some of the things have been shorted out and really needed to be replaced anyway. And so we're very fortunate, and it's a much brighter light and will last a long time and won't be up there messing with changing those light bulbs for a while. So that's
And it'll be more energy efficient.
and more energy efficient as well.
And who's your electrical contractor? We did it in-house.
We did it in-house, yes. Item number E, elementary playground update. One of the items I have for recommendation is to do some reconsidering on how we're going to address the drainage problems on both the intermediate and primary playgrounds. I had two other companies came out to give more input on what we might be able to do there. And when we looked at the mulch, it actually is retaining water enough to where it's biodegrading, and we're starting to get dirt in there, and it's just creating more of a problem. So that area is all going to be pulled out on both sides of the larger playgrounds on each side of the building. And we're going to look at the drain and make sure that it appears that there's no stone that was put down, and that we need to then look at the drainage and make sure that we have it set up so that we can remove that water quickly. We also have a lot of surface water that's coming off of the asphalt areas, and it's a pretty steep run that when that water hits, especially this last week when we had that real quick downpour, you could see where the mulch had just kind of washed away along that S-curve type cement along the intermediate side. And so there's some conversation going on about what might be options to help keep the water from not going through the whole playground and adding to the decomposition of that material. And then once we see what the drainage situation is and rectify that, we have to blow out the drains. They're full of mulch, and then we will hopefully, at a much reduced price, then be able to blow in the playground approved mulch. And I have not gotten the prices back completely yet. I'm hoping by the end of this week we'll have all the prices in, and then we can make a decision going forward. But that's a big project. It's a big issue that's really been affecting the playgrounds for the last couple of years, and we really want to make sure that we're not just doing a temporary fix, that we need to make sure it's all set up correctly for proper drainage.
Thank you. Superintendent's recommendations.
Item A, adoption of student textbooks. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education adopt the textbook recommended by the high school science department for adoption for honors physics. This book is approved by the College Board for use in an AP course and will enable our honors physics students the opportunity to take the AP exam in May. Textbook information is attached to the Board of Education members' agenda as Appendix C. Item B, approval of junior high school course of study. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve the junior high elective class of astronomy as submitted. Course description has been attached to the Board of Education members' agenda as Appendix D. Item C is removal of elementary playground request for bid. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve the removal for the request for bid for the renovation of the Buckeye elementary playgrounds. Item D, agreement with Medina City Schools. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve an agreement with Medina City Schools to provide educational services to Buckeye local school students who have been placed in the Medina County Juvenile Detention Center. A complete copy of the agreement will be held on file in the Treasurer's Office. Item E, agreement with Medina Educational Service Center. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve a revised agreement with Medina ESC for the contracted services, which shall be effective August 2017 to May 2018. A copy of the agreement has been attached to the Board of Education members' agenda as Appendix I. Item F, agreement with Positive Education Program. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve an agreement with the Educational Service Center of Cuyahoga County for the 2017-18 school year. PEP provides educational services as well as mental health services for qualifying students. A complete copy of the agreement will be held on file in the Treasurer's office. Item G, agreement with Medina Creative Accessibility. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve an agreement with Medina Creative Accessibility, an affiliate organization of Medina Creative Housing. For the 2017-18 school year, MCA will provide placement and training of Buckeye local school students in their vocational training work sites. A complete copy of the agreement will be held on file in the Treasurer's office. And item H, free and reduced lunch program. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education grant approval for the district's participation in the 2017-18 school year in the federal free and reduced lunch program approved by the State Department.
Thank you. How about a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendations as presented?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any questions, comments on those items? Roll call.
Stahl?
Yes.
Barco?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Sisselich?
Yes.
Dunkelman?
Yes. And new business, please?
Item 12, new business, a final reading of the following policies. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education consider the policies listed below as presented. Copies of the complete policies are attached to board members' agendas as Appendix J. Item 1, 5610, removal, suspension, expulsion, and permanent exclusion of students. Item 2, 5630.01, positive behavior intervention and supports and limited use of restraint and seclusion. Item 3, 6233, amenities for participants at meetings and or other occasions. Item 4, 6320, purchases. Item 5, 6325, procurement, federal grants funds. Item 6, 6423, use of credit cards. Item 7, 6680, recognition. Item 8, 6700, Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA. Item 9, 8310, public records. Item 10, 8320, personnel files. Item 11, 8330, student records. Item 12, 8452, automated external defibrillators, AED. Item 13, 8500, food services. Item 14, 8510, wellness. Item 15, 15.2413, career advising. Item 16, 1432, sick leave. Item 17, 3432, sick leave. And item 18, 4432, sick leave.
Motion, please. Motion. Second?
Second.
Any comment on that list of policies or?
I'm glad that we're not tabling it tonight.
A lot of reading there. Anything else? Roll call, please.
Sisselich?
Yes.
Barco?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Dunkelman?
Yes. Personnel items?
Letter A, certified personnel. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following personnel items as presented. The first group is renewal of contracts for our tutor teachers. This is something that we non-renewed in June, and now we are putting that back on for recommendation. Item 2 is renewal of extended time contracts. This is our extended time for our counselors and other positions that require time to go to work sites, make home visits, extended days for their office work. And item B is classified personnel. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following personnel items as presented. Number 1, employment. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve to hire Cheryl Bartko as primary secretary for the 2017-18 school year. Ms. Bartko will be paid at step 5 of the negotiated contract. And item number 2 is continuing contract. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve to hire Robert Wilkham, custodian, effective June 15, 2017. And item C is supplemental contract approval. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following supplemental contracts pending certifications as well as resignations effective the 2017-18 school year as listed. And that is it.
All right, motion, please.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Questions? Roll call.
Stahl?
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Siselic,
Yes.
Barco,
Yes.
Kunkelman.
Yes. We have a little time for board comments. Who wants to start tonight?
I'll go ahead and start.
All right, thank you.
And start off with, I'd like to thank Carolyn for all of her years and the help that she has given me over those years of learning some of the intricacies of school finance. I really appreciate that, and I also appreciate looking across the table and getting that little eye when there's something that's being discussed that I ought to think about a little bit harder. I do appreciate that, and I hope you have a great retirement.
Dennis?
Pretty much the same thing as treasurer. 10 years on the board with you. It's been a good run. Appreciate everything you've taught me. And I know I can play poker with you because I can read those eyes. So you've been good to the district, and I know you won't be far. It's hard to always be here. Okay.
Jen?
You sure about this?
I'm sure.
All right. Thank you for everything you've done. Appreciate it a lot.
Kim? Thank you all for coming.
I wish you said that, by the way. Carolyn, thank you. I've appreciated sitting here next to you, picking on you the whole time. She's been our go-to person. We had any questions to ask, she's always the one that has the answers. Enjoy your retirement.
I'm going to add to that too. Carolyn trained me in federal grants. Yeah, and I'm older than you. But Carolyn trained me in federal grants and how to manage those when I worked here as curriculum director, so I really appreciate that. And even though Gunkelman math didn't always work, it was fun trying to make it work.
It was.
And we just, I mean, you definitely will leave a hole in this district, but we know that retirement's a good thing.
That's right.
And wish you all the best. All right then. So I think what we're going to do is take a little tiny recess before we ask to go into executive session, because I believe there is a cake in Carolyn's honor. And we'd like to have our cake while we at least have a few guests with us tonight. So we'll take a recess for 10 minutes or so.